Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm starting off this broadcast with a statement of fair use that anything that I share, be it anything that is playing in the background, fair use. Anything that would come across would be for educational purposes only, fair use. Fair use is a doctrine in the law of the United States that permits limited use of copyrighted material without having to first acquire permission from the copyright holder. Fair use is one of the limitations to copyright intended to balance the interest of copyright holders with the public interest in the wider distribution and use of creative works by allowing as a defense to copyright infringement claims certain limited uses that might otherwise be considered infringement. So anything that is playing in the background, any sounds, anything audible, anything I share per screen share, well, I'm stating it's going to be fair use. And with that, I am just going to hope that this particular live sharing is going to not be flagged, which has happened in the past, and um, so hopefully that will do. So as I'm thinking, I started my last week's broadcast with fair use. Um, I'm sorry, with uh, let's talk about the weather. And I want to talk about the weather a little bit here in the Chicago area. And in the last couple of days, it was unnatural raining. Like on Thursday morning, I woke up to a storm that was like crazy. And then some rain over the weekend, which Thursday is my Monday because I'm, I'm off work Tuesday and Wednesday. And because I'm off work Tuesday and Wednesday, I consider Gretchen. I consider peace and love, Gretchen. I consider Thursday my Monday. So I have 2 weekends. I have this weekend for myself, Tuesday and Wednesday. And I have the Friday and Saturday and Sunday weekend, traditional weekend, um, because, well, it's still the weekend. So it was a very interesting storming. And I just found out yesterday that the storms that were coming through were had that were considered tornadoes and had really destroyed a small neighborhood not too far from the O'Hare Airport area. So I didn't know it was that bad. I just knew it was very unnatural. Just the way the sky was looking and as dark as it was. I mean, I've seen, these dark storms and just amazing. And so um, it went from being extremely hot to these. kind of crazy storms. And then I have a small amount of flooding that occurs in my basement, which uh, doesn't usually occur unless it's a lot of rain, like over time. But these storms were short storms that I would not have expected, but it was so much rain in that short period of time. So I had spoken about the documentary that I watched last week or the week before because I spoke on that on Tuesday last week. So I'm going to share. I looked it up and I found out that it was this new Netflix documentary. And as some of us use the words dodge the hijack, because undoubtedly these were women of color, but it's the new next Netflix documentary in Our Mother's Gardens, honoring the relationship between, I'm going to just say, women of color and their mothers, okay? The American woman, the true original American woman. And this is the woman that I was speaking of who is in New Orleans. So this was in the I think that says Cin Cinema Africa film 2020 Black Star. So I'm totally convinced that the that some of this agenda using black as a designation and making it okay, but these were the women who were on this program. And I, for some reason, thought that this program was going to go as a series, but it didn't. So let's just read a little bit. It says, oh, let me come back and drop the link just in case anybody comes through. Gretchen, if you want to, or if anyone wants to come up and chit chat, I'm just going to copy and put the link in there. Only thing, because when I'm on that share screen, I can't see chat. So excuse me for that. Control V. Okay, there we go. So, okay, back to the screen share. So, in Our Mother's Gardens, IOMG, is a new documentary from filmmaker Chantrell P. Lewis, making her a directorial debut. The film first premiered at the 2020 Black Star Film Festival, being awarded the Shine Award for Best Film and subsequently picked up by Ava DuVernay. Array Variety reports. IOMG is a beautiful tribute to the complex relationships between Black women connected by lineage and love. Released in celebration of Mother's Day, we are honored to present Miss Lewis's feature debut highlighting important bonds between daughters, mothers, and grandmothers. Okay, now let's see who are some of the people. Okay, film interviews with Me Too founder Tarana Burke, talent tour manager Tina Ferris, cultural critic Dr. Brittany Cooper, holistic lifestyle expert Latham Thomas, author Dr. Kokova Zaldidi, oh, okay, Selassie, um, Reverend Teresa Thames, and more. All discuss journey to womanhood through their maternal lineage. Okay, Madame Noor, about the impetus behind the film, saying it was healing work inspired by her relationship with her own mother. I wish these were highlighted. I wish you could highlight these names, but and go see which person put the face with the name because I don't know all of them. She says, I have been engaging in the tough and messy work of unpacking my relationship with my mama and her relationship with her grandmother in the quest to heal and show up as a better stepmom for my bonus daughter and to contemplate motherhood for myself. The New Orleans native enlisted the assistance of her close friends in the film, urging them to also share their stories. Now, what I see happening out of this, I'm gonna go back down, but what I see happening is this is gonna be like a book club. People are going to start IM IOMG groups where women come and probably do this sharing, where the theme is about this relationship. Okay, see here. So I'm going to go back down. There are 22 women in the film. 20 of them are women I've known for 15 years or more. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. I knew some of their stories, but not all. So there's a certain level of trust that was already there. I could expect the women in this documentary to delve into a topic if I wasn't willing to go there myself. I couldn't expect the women, I could not expect the women in this documentary. In other words, she had to do it herself. So she must have been in the interview too. So is this her? Oh, yeah, this is probably Lewis. Okay. So I wish that they could would have done the names with the faces. Um, all right. So I'm always multi-thinking, multitasking. So I'm also, as I'm thinking about this, because I did want to bring this up because I said that I would. I wanted to figure out the woman that I was talking about from New Orleans, but I did not get to watch this show again. And I'm just skimming through really quick just to see if I could quickly see how this ends, see if I could put any names with faces. I don't think that this is a Ray, but I'm going to Google this show again in our mother's gardens. Oh no, that's not what I want. I want Okay, so here now here is where I can. Oh, yeah. Okay, that I remember her telling her story. Yeah. The when I listened to this, I just was like really thinking somebody is going to talk about being the idea of not, you know, being uh, completely brought here via slave ships and exposing some truth about, especially considering she's from New Orleans. I would have thought they would have exposed something about that. But then I thought it was a series, and I thought the more deeper they delve, that they would uncover some of these truths. So let me see. Let me see. What if I said, um, uh, in our mother's garden, guest, guest star, guest list? How about that? Wow. I would have thought that you would have been able to quickly get a reference of the people. Okay, here's the cast. So let's see if this is. Oh, this could be her. Yes, this is her. Okay, this is the woman that I thought was very interesting. So I'm gonna look her up, and I'm gonna look her up. I'll need to come back over to StreamYard for a minute. Gretchen, let's see. You were saying some things. Let me see. You say, okay. You say if you look on Netflix, you can see the faces of the ladies with their name. Oh, I would have had to go to Netflix. Okay, okay. I went a whole nother way around. I got, I got there. So let's see here. So other things that happened to me besides the fact that it was okay. We had Juneteenth. We had the beginning of the firecrackers that was so disturbing last year that it was memorable how disturbing it was. It was unlike any year I had ever experienced. The month of June, end of June through probably the entire July. The firecrackers were so bad last year, probably because people were on this lock in, and I think they like sold firecrackers so cheap because I don't know, maybe they weren't able to put on these big fireworks shows and they somehow downsized. I have no idea, but it was an extreme amount of firecrackers in the ghetto, okay, and the outskirts of the ghetto, what people call the ghetto, but the communities that I might find myself in in the middle of the night and having to work the next morning because I don't always stay home. Yeah, so someone I was thinking somebody might be selling them, but I thought somebody might have just came up and just dropped gift boxes on each corner like they do the s- sales papers. So, and most people popping these firecrackers and doing this fireworks, that it has nothing to do with any knowledge of what the supposedly celebration is at all. But at any rate, the night of Juneteenth began the fireworks that you would normally have around July the 4th. And so it was, sort of all night. But um, the night before, which would actually have been Juneteenth, I happened to be up late and I said, I'm just going to do like 30 minutes. I came in late. I said, I'm going to do like 30 minutes of some work on Ancestry, wind down a little bit before I go to sleep. And within 30 minutes, I had found a 5 year, I had resolved a 5 year question that I have mentioned on probably half of any of the genealogy builds that I've done that was about my family, and that was the Sutton family. The Sutton family, who I find in 1910 in Mississippi, which I spoke about the last Tuesday. I finally found a record that connected my father's grand, um, great grandparents, his mother's parents, uh, to the place that they were in, where they connected in North Carolina. I could see DNA connections because I do use DNA as a tool. I could see DNA connections that led into North Carolina in a big way. Many, many connections that I could actually put together how people were related to each other, which led to a specific family. But I could never find, I only knew my father's great grandfather's name, Bryant Sutton, but I did not know the mother of his first four or five daughters, which is my lineage. One of the daughters of the first marriage, which most of the old timers in my father's family did not acknowledge. And I could not understand. They acknowledged the second marriage, and no one knew the name of the mother of the first five daughters. I found a death certificate of one of those first five daughters that gave the name Lily Wiggins. And then I could not find any lead to who that might be. And then I kind of abandoned that. That was even a recent find within the last couple of months. And I just start going back through the records and looking at each daughter of the family that I most find the matches in, and looking at all of the daughters and trying to see if could tell who all of them were married to in this family. And one of them this night, I found a marriage certificate that had Bryant Sutton as a matter of fact, let me share the screen. Oh, you says, oh, okay. Let's see. I know some Suttons from DC, Texas. Adolphus, okay. Wow, and that's pretty amazing. My grandmother, even though her mother was the Sutton, her name was Gladys. and some Wiggins too. Okay, thank you for mentioning it. And the name Adolphus. So I'm going to be showing a Theophus. Theophus. And who knows, these could be definitely people who are related to that family. But I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show a few things. So I'm actually looking at a specific DNA connection who who I was able to find through the same type of marriage record. The parents of this young lady's grandparents, unless these just recently became available. Oh, I might be having problems here. Unless these are recently available, um, I'm not sure why I wasn't able to find some of the information I had been looking for earlier. But just today, just this morning, I found this record in reference to helping another DNA match um, to find to push her lineage a little bit uh, and try to find out why we match. So in her tree, she has that this couple Henry King, which is here on number 2, and her this would be her great great grandparents, and that he married Elizabeth Wiggins, um, and that you will see here that Henry is of the Lenore County um, township. He's 20. He's considered colored. And then it has the son of, and that should be the father, and Martha Bryant. Well, I had already found Martha Bryant with Henry King and Elizabeth in the house together based on the records. This person that I am actually helping, uh, she had already saved those records. So I already know that her mother was a Bryant by this time, 1910, down the 1910 census. The mother and her husband and her son and his wife. Okay, they're all on a census together. So now that tells you something very important, and that is that Martha, this is her second marriage name, most likely, because her son is Henry King. She's a Bryant, and I know she's in the household with a husband whose last name is Bryant. So these will not be maiden names on these records. So it also tells me, I'm sorry, that Miss Wiggins, Elizabeth Wiggins, who married Henry King, this should be her maiden name, but it doesn't necessarily have to, especially if they didn't list a father. But let's see. So it says that she's this this line here is the mother of the um, Henry King, the father now dead, the mother living, resident of Lenore County, and who he's marrying. This is the license for him and Elizabeth Wiggins, and it's just a full line. That's still number 11. They could have, if her name was long or something, this would include space for that. Of also Lenore County, age 19 years old, considered colored. Right, here you go. Years, color is colored. Daughter of, and this should be the father. See? Son of the father and then the mother. Then they go back to the father now dead, the mother living. So this should be her daughter of the father, and then this would be the mother. So is this the mother's married name, and she's giving her daughter the father's name because the father is living, but there is no name. If you see this, daughter of this certificate tells you something, and these are not selectable people. The fathers and mothers are not selectable. You have to open this up to get them, and you have to type them in yourself. You have to include them. So you have daughter of no father name and Lonnie Wiggins, which should be the mother, the father living, the mother living, both residents of Lenore. So I did something wrong because I already tried to type them in, and I had put that that was the um, father. Now this is the second part. This one is the license. This should be for the license. Have applied, having applied to me for a license. And this same type of document is the first document I found showing my Bryant Sutton in North Carolina. I'm gonna show a few of those things, and then I'm not gonna stay on too long. So, so first this one though. I'm gonna finish this one. So when you go further down, then you now have the marriage certificate. This will be another portion of that. This could, I think, happen on a different day, but the 23rd of February and the 23rd of February is above. I'll just slide back up. 23rd of February, same day. So this would be when the wedding take place. This would be the minister who performs the marriage. Okay. And this is going to tell you where the ceremony took place. Grifton, North Carolina is where they actually got married. And then you'll see the witnesses' names. Another opportunity to see, who, if you would looking for these people, you could also, look for people if you could read it, who are around them to start developing your community to add people in the tree. Um, a lot of times, of course, witnesses are going to be family. Okay, so what I did is I said that her father was Lonnie Wiggins, but that's not true. Let me see if I can get back there really quick because I thought, oh yeah, okay. I thought that it was father and that they said that the mother was Louise, but it's not. I, it says the father living, and I thought this was the father. I thought this was the mother name. I got mixed up, but it's the mother, not the father, who I should have saved as Lonnie Wiggins. And they are in the same place that I find my family. So, and it is a last name Wiggins. So maybe what I found on the death certificate has some clues around there. So what I would have to do, I'm going to show, is I have to select Lonnie, and then what I'll do is edit, quick edit, and I will say phi of, which means phi of Elizabeth, and then when I do slash, um, oh, what was the husband's name? King. Okay. Because I don't have any record attached to him. I can only way I can attach that record is as like a screenshot. Okay, so now I'm going to add the mother, not as Louise Wiggins, but Lonnie. Now the person that I'm helping does not have these records yet. She probably just have not dug enough, or maybe they were not available. So I'm leaving Lonnie slash Wiggins as if that was a married last name to just for tradition, and I might find out later. No, that's not what it is. She is a Wiggins, and she gave her daughter Wiggins because she didn't give her the father's name. I'll figure that out later. Right now, I'm following tradition. Okay, so now from here, I have not figured out this connection. I'm getting close. From here, I'm going to go and I'm going to show you the first time that I see Brian Sutton in North Carolina. No, Simmons slash Simmons. Mary Simmons here. So we, by DNA matches, are closely related to the Hooker family before I ever figured anything out. Okay, let me see. I did something wrong here. Okay, so Mary Simmons. This is the first time I see Bryant on her North Carolina marriage certificate. So I was looking at this family, looking at who is all of the women in this family married to, because I knew we were related to this family, just not exactly which daughter or son was say bringing us in. So on this one, you can barely read it, but I could make out here Bryant Sutton. So I knew we were related closely, and so I know that has to be him. The year, Greene County, is difficult to read, and just in case someone doesn't know, when you're on Ancestry, you can go to these tools. Let me come back over to the screen. Okay. Oh, it was buffering. Oh, Gretchen, I hope it's okay. I hope you're still with me. If not, maybe you'll see this later. Yeah, good. I'm showing the full screen. I wanted just to um, create for this. This tool over here, a lot of people might not know, but you can click this, and when it's hard to read like that, sometimes it's very helpful to invert colors, and sometimes you can see a little bit better. So when you invert the colors, sometimes so you can see. So Brian Sutton, having applied to me for a license for the marriage. It says, I, Bryant Sutton, having applied to me for a license for the marriage. Now, I don't, I don't know. I'm gonna take it out of inversion. I'm not sure what that exactly means. Um, it says one, name of person applying for the license. Number two, name of man to be married in full. So name of person applying. So I'm not sure if it was like, someone is designated from the town to take the application. I really don't know. But he is listed there. That's the first time I'm like, that's got to be him. It's the year of 87 or 89. It's 87. I figured it out. It looks like it could be something else. But Brian um, Sutton, he is on there. And I figured that it was him. And so now this is the minister. This is the second portion. and John and Mary. So I did do a tree on John's family to see, is it because Brian is John's best man? Is it, what is it that makes him the person who accepts the license? Even here, you can go back and forth and you can see, is this just the person designated for the people, around this time? But most of the time, it is someone with the same last name as the um, groom. See here? Let's do another page. I'm just going back, and for 9 times out of 10 times, it's always, someone who is related to the groomsman. So this one is a shekel for it. So yeah, that's a different person. Well, has a different last name. And then I believe that the marriage certificates I put in this book of this is a book 1500 279 pages. So I think this is all the marriage certificates from, it probably tells us up here 1741 to 2011, really. I guess in growing, same one database. So this is 87. So this is October. I wish when you flip the page, it could be in the same spot on the next one. Let's see if it's chronological. October, November. Nope, because this is May. So it's not in that kind of order. So uh, maybe it's in order by the husband's last name, Shepard. The next one is Simmons. This should be the one that I was on. Yeah. Okay. So that's the first time that I see him and he's in North Carolina, but it's nothing I can save. He's not selectable in there. So I guess maybe a year goes by, and I look at one of Mary's sisters. Here's the siblings. The pictures represent, this is it's actually a DNA strand. It represents people who, see, here's Theophilus that I was talking about, but it's Theophilus Hooker. Okay, I not okay. And you see, it's a DNA strand that just represents that I have found actual living descendants of these people saving these people. Okay, that our DNA matches. So here, look at here. You see this Lonnie? I wonder if this Lonnie is Lonnie Wiggins. I have to look into that. However, just recently, I found that this is my father's grandmother on the eve of, well, on Juneteenth after midnight. I found out, but here's the how I found them. So how many sisters are there? Phyllis, Elizabeth, and Mary. Those were the only. These are Mary's children. So the only sisters in this family that I needed to look at were these three. I don't even think I have any further records other than this. So Lonnie could be Lonnie Wiggins. When I look into, it could be that she married. Well, they are trying to make her a Wiggins by suggestion, Charles Wiggins. This would work. So if this is correct, when I open this, her parents should be Daniel and Sarah. Let's see. And if this in fact is true, then this would be the answer to the question of how we have the DNA connection with the young lady and the king. So here we go. Her parents are Daniel and Sarah. See here? Daughter of Daniel and Sarah. So that is Lonnie. Charles Wiggins. So Charles Wiggins is the father of Mary. I'm sorry, Elizabeth Wiggins. And see, they mostly call her Lonnie, even though they're saying Elizabeth Lonnie. So cool. So I just thought resolved. Yay. I just resolved. Oh, the mother is so Charles, and this is Lonnie is the mother of this marriage certificate is a little different, right? Let me see here. This one is saying C.H. Wiggins having applied to me for a license for the marriage. So that's probably his father. So it appears that most of the time it's the father of the groomsman who is the in the spot of having to apply for me a license. He's aged looks like 23 or I don't know, 23 years, colored, the son of Charles Wiggins, okay, and Lonnie Wiggins. And I believe that is the Lonnie who is the sister of Phyllis, who I is my connection, my lineage. Wait. His mother, this is what's strange. His mother is a Lonnie, appears like that. I don't know if that's true. We're gonna find out, okay? And then I'm gonna show Brian Sutton. And let me before I do that, let me come back and see. Gretchen, you still with me? Okay. I just want to just check in. Time is just flying. Okay, so I cannot find the remote to change the background, but hopefully fair use will cover anything that's playing in the background. So now I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to do the additions. Okay, it's not. Okay, there we go. All right, so where am I is the daughter of Daniel and Sarah. Her siblings is who I want to look at because what I want to do is I want to go with Elizabeth and accept this hint. Review. I will say yes to the hint. I will. I won't check this. Let me see. I will not check the name because I would like to leave the name as it was. So I'm leaving the name as it was, but I'm going to click into here and I'm going to add a variation of the spelling as you see it. Leona here. I'm not going to change anything. And then I need to add slash Wiggins. Okay. All right. So this was already, the birth was already there. This is the marriage that's being added. And as you see, there's nothing here to transfer over. Even though the parents' names are on that certificate, it is not selectable. It will not add the record to the parents. So then this is her husband. I'm going to go ahead and we know his father is Charles, Big Charles. So I'm going to make my code lower letter C and save the tree. Now, I am going to go to Charles and I'm going to go ahead and add his parents because they were on that certificate. If nothing else, I could add to the gallery. We know his father is on there as being Charles, and they are of Lenore. Sometimes at this point, if I know that the son or the wife is born in 18, I can see that under here. The wife was born 1873. The son was probably born in that area. I can go back and change that. That would mean the parents would probably be born around the 50s. Ancestry gives a 10-year before and after space to cover what the age might be in searches. So they're going to be looking for information on any Charles living in that area, which they were in Lenore. Um, well, they were in Greene County. That they'll be looking for anyone born between 1840 to 1860, basically. I don't know if y'all can hear the roosters. Okay, so the birthplace, I'm gonna just put Greene, and I know that it is. I just do Greene if I could find one. Yeah, Greene, Hookerton. Okay, because I know they're in Hookerton. I don't know why that's a HOA, but that's strange because the variations of spelling on Hookerton I do see in some of the last names of the people. Okay, so I've added his father, and now I'm gonna add his mother, which looks like Laney. I'm gonna put LANY/Wiggins. I'm also gonna give her 1850. I can change it. I'm trying to provoke Ancestry's database to search for the people. And that really won't hurt the search. So now that will generate hints. So we already got a hint. I just want to, and this might be the person that I'm been helping. No, it's not, but it's actually a DNA match. I recognize her name. She comes through Theophilus, as a matter of fact. So I had these people figured out before. So that's my aunt, my father's sister, and that's my dad. Okay. And then this is a file that someone has shared that is also from the Hookerton family, but that she's from one of the other environments. So she is a Harper. She's related to the Harper side. So at any rate, I have figured in how she's a match. So let's just go into her tree and take a quick look at her tree. And so she does have Lonnie, 1873. Oh, but she doesn't have the parents. So if she doesn't put the parents, because they will not come off this record then. So I'm doing viewing tree just to see. Oh, wow. This may be a portion of her tree. So, so she doesn't have who Phyllis married. She doesn't have who Mary married. So she is either familiar with Lonnie and Charles, and that's maybe why she put them together. Maybe it was easier. But this is her family. This is her concentration, Theophilus. And Theophilus married. All of these is the same person. Minnie, Mima, Mima. This should probably be the same record, and she's not merging them when they're found with a different spelling. Okay, so now I'm going to show what it was that I found with the other sister. So I'm going back. I'm going to go right from her tree, and I'm going to choose the daughter that is my lineage. This is who Bryant Sutton married. This was his first wife. Now, even in her tree, she only has Phyllis in 1870. When you do a search from her tree, let's see what ancestry comes up with. There she is in 1880, and I do have that record. And look, here she is married to a Sutton. And this is the record that resolved. Okay, and this is something I saved where we have Wiggins on the death certificate. And I don't know why they had that Wiggins, but it sounds to me like they maybe she remarried a Wiggins. But at any rate, I'm gonna have to take another look at her. This could be her, but I'll go back. So here's the certificate where I find my Sutton. And look how bizarre. Not this one. You see it says Daniel Sutton. But when you actually open it up, that's why you have to open up. You have to have such patience to work with and this is why it's important for everyone to do their own work. So let's see, who is the person that actually they applied to? So they applied for the license with someone whose last name looks to be Scott. And it says that this marriage is with Daniel Sutton, and I believe that is Lenore of Lenore, I believe. Um, age 23. I know it's not a seven. I looked at it. They have his color as black, the son of Isaac. So Isaac and Charity. And every time I see Charity, I'm thinking, okay, well, I definitely know one of my great aunts, great aunts, was Charity. She was spoken of a lot. And I found her, of course, in records. So it says that the father now living and the mother now living. So that means whoever Daniel Sutton is and considering we related to this family and that Sutton last name is showing up again on another one of the daughters' certificates of marriage is something of interest. So you go down, and Phyllis is the daughter of Daniel Hooker and Sarah. See, they actually almost put daughter of Lenore County here. See, this is scratched out, and then they have Daniel. Okay, both parents living, father living, the mother living county, and this I believe is Green. It's very difficult to read, but I think that's Green. And when you look further down, look at this. Unbelievable. I don't know why they had Bryant at the top. I mean, Daniel at the top, but clearly on the same day, February 15th, they say that his name is Bryant Sutton. So this is my relationship um, to this Hooker family. There's Theophilus. He was a witness. He is the brother of Phyllis. And then Wright Harper, I don't know if he's in my tree, but I'll be looking for him. And then this looks like Lonnie. Maybe this is the sister Lonnie, Linnea. I believe this might be standing in for that. But Sevis, was she ever married to a Sevis? That's the question. So I will be researching those names. But that is the document that I found. And it just so happened that I went down and looked closer at the certificate at the bottom, and there I found my Bryant. So let me come and see if anybody wants to have anything they wanted to share or um, okay, I've been on about an hour and talked a little bit about the weather, talked a little bit about the in the garden. Is it called? I know it was IOMD, in our mother's gardens. Talked a little bit about that. Um, and I think, talked a little bit about fair use at the beginning. So it's going to be I'm going to be curious to see if this stay stay up because there were things planned in the background initially. So okay, y'all, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call it day and wish everyone a peaceful and prosperous day. And yeah, you have Theophilus. Yeah. Okay, peace and love, Miss. It's just Willie here. I gotta go back and see what your video was about. I saw it, but I didn't have a chance to look at that. Gretchen, you said is a lions with a question mark. Maybe when I was talking about um, if wondering if the certificate said Lenore or not. StreamYard gonna be better when they make it where you can still have your ability to see the chat even if you're sharing a screen. And maybe that's something I can't think of no way of doing that other than if I get on with my phone, which I figured out a long time ago. But um definitely wanted to see what that video was about that you last posted, I think, yesterday. I'll do that today. And thank you all for coming through. I appreciate you all for company too. So I appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep on at it. If I could squeeze in my Tuesday and build on Tuesday mornings like this, then I will I think it will get better. It'll 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 continue to become something of even more substance, and uh, oh, you thought I said lions when I said when I was talking about Lenore, or when I was talking about the name of the mother of the groomsmen. So those certificates, those marriage certificates are I mean, I know I don't know. I didn't look at each sister, and I should have been looked at each sister in that case and who they married and tried to figure it out because we had so many matches that were pointing to that family. But okay. So I appreciate y'all, and I will, if not before, that's right. There you go, Gretchen. If not before then, I will see y'all next week, Tuesday, where we'll be talking about the weather and see where it leads. Okay. Peace and love, y'all.